Okay, so what I have to show you is very important. It's important you listen all the way to the end. The Lord showed me something, and it to me is just mind blowing. I had to just take breaks because it was a lot to process. So I want to get started. I happen to be just looking up the word thunder. No big deal. You know, I have what Strong's Concordance, and I look up Hebrew and Greek words. And because sometimes when we read the Bible, we perceive it in English a certain way, but in translation, it loses sometimes the exact translation. So when I look things up in the Greek or the Hebrew, I get more of an exact interpretation of what the Bible's trying to say. So with that said, I was looking up the word thunder in the Bible, and I ran across something different. I know sometimes God speaks in thunder, but I was in Revelations chapter 6 when I was reading it, and I ran across Revelations about the black horse. And I wanted to show you something about the black horse, but before I can show you, I have to talk about the other two horses because there's a sequence of what's going on here. So when it gets to the black horse, everything changes. So I need to show you what the Lord showed me. And I got to go quick because I only get 16 minutes to videotape this, and then they cut me off, or the camera cuts me off. Anyway, I was always taught when I was younger that the Antichrist is the one that rides the white horse. But when I'm researching it, to me, it seems very different. Okay, so it says there is 4 beasts around God's throne. And you can find these beasts around God's throne in Revelations 4:6. And in Revelation 6:1, it says the Lamb who opens one of the seals. So the Lamb's the only one that can open the seals. So the Lamb opened one of the seals. The Lamb is Jesus. And I heard, as it were, a noise of thunder. And one of the 4 beasts said, "Come and see," which starts off the beginning of tribulation. And I saw, behold, a white horse, and he who sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went forth conquering to conquer. Okay, so I look up white, I look up horse, I look up bow, and conquering to conquer. Well, when I look up white, it's nothing really. The color is just light white, no big deal. I look up horse, and it just says horse seen in the apocalypse. Apocalypse, nothing here. Okay. I look up bow, and it's the Greek word toxon, made of simplest fabric, derived from the Greek word tikito, which means to bring forth, time to deliver. To bring forth metaphorically their sins. That's what it says in the Strong's Concordance. The only time God speaks of his primitive tools in the Bible is mentioned in James 1:15. He mentions his arrows. Crown. When I looked up crown for this Revelation 6:2, the Greek is Stephanos, a badge of royalty, a prize or a symbol of honor, victorious crown, triumphant in games and contest, token of public honor, military skills, bravery in battle. This also denotes arrival, official visit of kings, glory of righteousness, glory, emblem of life, joy, reward, glory. This does not sound anything to me like the Antichrist. This seems more positive to me. All right, so let's look at the next word, conquering and conquer. The Greek word is nikeo, subdue, overcome, prevail, to get victory. Nikeo is used of God. So conquering is used of God, of Christ, and it is a law term. That's what the Greek is. So the word conquering is an unprevailing over, but not conquering as if in a battle. So to recap, a man will show up using primitive weapons. He shows up as a token of public and honor. He will be given a crown and authority. There will be joy, a reward of glory, and will get victory. He will overcome, and a symbol of honor. He will be used of God. Now that does not sound like the Antichrist. So I don't know why people always say the man riding the white horse is the Antichrist. Okay, I got to move on because time's a ticking. Let's look at the second beast. It announces the second seal. Revelation 6:3. When he, Jesus, it doesn't say Jesus, but that's who it's talking about, had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, come and see. So each beast, after he opens the seal, says, come and see, and then they show you something. Okay, this is important that you know this. So come and see. Verse 4, and there went out another horse. It was a red horse, and the power was given him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given to him a great sword. I looked up both words. I looked up the word red for red horse, and it just means to be fiery red is used of the sky. I looked up sword, and it's knife, dagger, war, judicial punishment for ordinary violence, dissensions that destroys peace, a battle, controversy, and strife. Not always used in armed conflict. Middle voice, to war, to quarrel, and to dispute. So I thought, okay, that's interesting. Now, let's look at the black horse. Revelation 6:5. And when he, Jesus, opens the third seal, I heard the third beast say, once again for the third time, come and see. And I saw the black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. The third beast seems to get, after he says that the black horse shows up and the man riding it has the balances in his hand, then that beast that says come and see gets interrupted by the fourth beast sitting around the throne of God. Now that wasn't depicted in the first three, so this changes things. So that's when you've got to take a closer look at it. So the third beast seems to get interrupted by the fourth beast. Usually Jesus opens a seal and the next beast says come and see, but not this time. So then you have to ask yourself why. All right, so let's look at the third beast and what it shows. A man riding a black horse with a pair of balances in his hand. When I looked up the word balances, balance is only used, balance is used 8 times. Balances is used 10 times in the Bible. The word balances for Revelations was blank in the Greek. And I was kind of surprised. There was nothing there. So I thought that was kind of strange. And I looked up other definitions of the word balances. And it was the word mosen, which means a pair of scales, a measuring rod, a beam of balance, an idea of scales as if 2 ears, to weigh, to ponder, give good heed to broaden your ears, to hearken, to perceive by an ear, a symbol of justice and fair dealings. Well, when I was reading this, it was probably about 1 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep. And I had researched balances, and it also it was the word Tekel. That's what the word meant when I was reading the other ones. So I got tired and I went to bed. Well, 4 hours later, which is unusual for me because I'm a person that sleeps 8 hours, and 4 hours later I wake up again about 5:30 in the morning. And I just randomly pick up the Bible and I just flipped. Just no big deal. Just grabbed the Bible and just flipped any page, whatever opened. Well, out of the whole thousands of pages, it just happened to be in the book of Daniel. And it was in Daniel 5:27 when the king, Nebuchadnezzar's son, because he was the heir to the throne, he brought all the utensils in that were from Solomon's temple, and they were using all the silver and drinking and getting drunk and everything, and there was writing on the wall. And the word that popped out at me when I was reading it randomly, Tekel. And I said, oh my gosh, I just read that 4 hours ago. Now, had it been 8 hours ago, I probably would have forgot. Maybe that's why you woke me up early. And what that means is, when God wrote on the wall, he wrote the words, Mene tekel upharsin. The word tekel stood out to me because it means balance, balances. I looked up that word earlier. Okay, so randomly I look at it, and when God writes it on the wall in front of Nebuchadnezzar's son, I forget his name, Belshazzar or something. The interpretation, it says, thou art weighed in the balances and are found wanting. So the balances in Revelations is a group of people that are weighed and found wanting. God will pour out his wrath on this group. So let's move on. When I looked up black, now remember the other horses, when I looked up white or red, or there really wasn't any meaning. I mean, it was just light colored, red like the sky. Okay, when I look up the word black, 4 Greek words show up. Remember, let's see. All right, the 4 Greek words, to sum it up, says, where action proceeds, the point reached, or point entered, near to, something near, denotes separation, departure, cessation. Cessation means the fact or process of ending or beginning or brought to an end. It means completion and reversal. All the other colors didn't mean anything. Black means something. Very interesting. Something is near. It is the Great Tribulation. But then it says departure. So does that mean God's people are going to be departuring? Is this where God's people are going to be found worthy and raptured? And why reversal? Is this reversing the curse? Is God restoring God's people? Is it reversing? I don't know. I mean, interesting. The third beast who says, come and see, is closing out the end of the age. And then he is interrupted by the fourth beast. The fourth beast does not say, come and see. The fourth seal is not broken yet. It's just the fourth beast interrupts the third beast. And the fourth beast actually says something. He says, a measure of wheat for a penny, 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see that thou not hurt the oil and wine. The fourth beast is actually warning the people. What does a penny mean in Greek? It means a denarian, which is equivalent to 10 asses or 10 donkeys. Let's bring this today's standard. If we just had COVID-19, and my opinion is a trial test, many of us could not find bread in stores, or posted, when you went into the store, they had to post 1 loaf per person. And what happened to the price of gasoline? Well, it went down. Don't hurt the oil or wine. Interesting. Okay, the fourth beast says, okay, after saying about the measures of wheat for a penny and 3 barleys of a penny. Okay, so now the fourth beast says, come and see. Then the pale horse is released, and a fourth of the world enters, either dies by the sword or by hunger. This includes animals as well. By the way, the pale horse means green. It doesn't mean a pale color like what we think. Who is the rider of the pale horse? His name is Death. For some of you may not, who may not know, those 4 colors of the horses are actually 4 different colors of the Islamic flags. Remember, there was ISIS that had the black flag, and then there was a white flag. They also have a red flag, and they have a green flag. All 4 depict the 4 horses of the apocalypse. But anyway, that's a teaching for another time. But I thought that was quite interesting, that the colors of the horses in the apocalypse, the black means something. And that with the fourth beast interrupting the third beast, there's something to really take a look at that. Anyway, I found it really interesting. I wanted to share that with you. If you don't know the Lord, I pray that you come to know the Lord, because I don't think there's much time left. I think we really need to get on our knees and spend time praying, and every night repent of our sins and do whatever we can to bring as many people to the Lord as possible.